This episode is brought to you by our Patreon members. Sign up right now, patreon.com/VVC Life. And thank you to all of the patrons that have already signed up and are supporting us right now.
Real reviews, live and unapologetic. New episodes every Thursday at 8 at vvclife.com.
No ticket.
We are here. All my glasses. It is showtime. Yes, it is time to talk about the movies. I am your boy, JS1 the Supplier. We are here. I am blessed and honored to have the executive producer of the movie Lingo. He's here.
What's up?
Yes, sir. We've got the co-executive producer, David Panther here. And finally, the executive queen of all things ill and dope, Iris, is in the building. All right, so today we have jam-packed show of greatness, great news and film talk for you. All right, we've got things that seem old and things that seem new but are based on things old. See, so we shall talk and we shall dispense information to the public. Okay, if you have not done so, I need you to sign up on the VVC Live website, YouTube channel. Okay, hit the subscribe button and also hit on the like button. Okay, and then also follow my friends, Movie Lingo and Mr. the Dead Panther. Okay, and also follow the beautiful Mrs. Iris the _ real reviews. Okay, and once you have done so, we shall say a thank you and a much appreciation. I am sorry, I do not mean my voice is a little scratchy. So
I can't.
You went through like 4 or 5 accents.
I know. I was like, "Well, we Haitian. We're."
And I heard some Sweden and some European.
Yeah, I was like, "Why you sound like maybe you're from Scotland?"
About the accent, we do not need to commit to anything. This is all fake. We are doing television show, and this is not about the world. Okay, the movie is about the world. This is nothing. Okay, so let's get into the Black history because Black Power.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all.
Okay. So
I'm going to start it off.
Thank you, sir. Take it away.
All right. And because we do have this section every week, but also because it's Black History Month, we're going to dig a little deeper and give you guys some excellent facts about Black people in film. Mr. Roger Ross Williams is an American director, producer, and writer. And he's also the first African-American director to win an Academy Award with his short film, Music by Prudence. And this film won the Academy Award for Best Documentary Short Film in 2009. And he's also known for directing films such as Life Animated, Traveling While Black, and again, Music by Prudence. These are documentaries that are actually very powerful. Traveling While Black, I actually went back and watched it once I researched this, and it's something definitely worth watching.
Do we have another one?
And Iris.
Yes. So we're gonna dive into Miss Rosie Perez, who's an Afro-Puerto Rican from Brooklyn, New York. She got her first major acting role in Spike Lee's hit movie Do the Right Thing. From there, she went on to continue her acting career in movies like White Man Can't Jump and Fearless. Her career also includes being a choreographer, an author, coño, dancer, and talk show host. She also co-directed the documentary Yo Soy Boricua Pa' Que Tu Lo Sepas, a film that describes the history of Puerto Ricans. Um, Other than all of that amazingness, she is also a very strong activist. She was actually appointed to the Presidential Advisory Council on HIV and AIDS by Barack Obama in 2010.
Oh, that was it? Oh, my bad. I didn't want to interrupt the woman greatness, you know what I mean, with applause. I wanted to just accentuate the great moment, but give you space to, you know what I mean, do what you do. All right. So it is time to break down the numbers. I don't know if anybody's been kind of focused on what's been going on in the box office, because we just had one of our great blacks, you know what I'm saying, in the film, the box office. So let's see how he did. Okay, he did very well because he is number one at the box office. Jamaicans worldwide are gushing in their drawers this week, as they did in the movie theater, because I was in a theater full of Jamaicans. I swear to God, I was out in the bougiest white area in the cushiest county with the nicest chairs and stuff, and they had Jamaicans all through up in that piece, and they was not quiet in that theater. So he is number one, and Bob Marley is number one at the box office, bringing in a overall gross of $82.7 million. Jesus Christ. Now, what is important to note is that this film had a $70 million budget, and that's what the hell I'm talking about. That's called our first weekend smash. And we ain't even, that's not even the worldwide gross. That's the domestic gross. You know, Jamaica spent at least 20 million at the box office, going crazy over that joint. So we good. So number two at the box office is what the hell is going on in America? Jesus fucking Christ. Are we serious? Number two in the box office is Argyle. Argyle is number two in the box office with 79 to overall gross $79 million. Can't somebody pull a bullet in this movie so it'll go away? Jesus. Why do y'all keep going to see this movie? What is wrong with y'all? Don't y'all have something else you can do? Go to the flea market. Clean the house. Cook some biscuits. Don't go see this movie. What are y'all doing? Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Number three.
Still up there though.
Yeah, you know, number three at the box office, which should have been number two because it's better, and it would have made Iris, you know, gushy and all that. The Beekeeper with a total gross of $75 million. And then, you know what I'm saying? What is that? 1, 2, 3. Number four, for whatever reason, is taking up two spots. Number 4 and number 5. Mean Girls. This don't make no sense. So one box office numbers is 139 million, and there's another box office number of 86 million. I don't know.
It's based off the weeks, because
there you go.
2 and week 3.
Yeah. Right. Let's just go with the bigger number. So their overall gross for Mean Girls, oh my God, $139 million. So, like, please, Bob, I need you to double these numbers up. We gotta get Mean Girls out of here, player. We can't allow them to ride no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they've had their time. And then Wonka. I bet it is. So let's see. Wonka comes in at last place with $113 million. The bastard son of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is still just chugging along. Just you know, when you can't kill it, it just becomes a zombie. All right. So I guess the next thing we got to do is go to previously on.
Oh, they're doing the previously thing. Do it again. Previously.
Let's
Think
go.
about it. Think about he can get as woo as he wants to. And
because he's gay, right?
I wasn't saying that.
Who knows?
So that's what you were saying. He's with gay people, so that's his element. No? All right. Well, let's watch
So over the course of your career,
you've done so many different genres, and I was thinking, I'm like, what have I have never seen you do? Have you ever been interested in doing a biopic of anybody or any individual?
Yeah, Little Richard.
Oh,
yeah, Little Richard's story. I just watched his doc and I was floored.
Oh, it was great.
His story would be incredible. So, Little Richard with Billy Porter playing him might be something I'd be very interested in. You're the first person I've said that to.
Well, good. We got the scoop.
Yeah, I haven't said it to a soul, not one person. Yeah.
So you have been thinking about that.
For sure. I mean, but it had to be somebody who spoke to me on so many levels, and I can relate.
So
the way you stopped it at when he said I can relate, you could have stopped it anywhere. You knew what you're doing.
He was counting, like, wait, ooh, right here.
Right there.
Well, this is my first time watching the clip. I haven't watched it before. And I felt like what you said and what he was saying, that there is a connective tissue between the two.
It is.
I mean, he's not married. I've never seen him with a woman. Look at this image of him right here. It does look very, and
what he's wearing black. He's got a beard. Like, there's nothing about this look that makes me say, hey, you know what? He plays for the other team.
Or, I mean, I think he just is a free-for-all.
Could be.
Like, he's just like, I am an equal opportunist gentleman.
Yeah, he will hand out the pennies to whoever wants it. Got you.
I love watching y'all's face every week. Y'all don't know what's gonna come up.
If you watch that beginning of me squirming and adjust my seat like I was at Congress, I was like, glass of water, please.
I laughed so hard when I was rewatching that, man. I love that. I'm sorry.
Damn, Jay.
That Panther is so inappropriate, man. I mean, I swear to God, the stuff that comes out of this guy's mouth. I mean, I'm glad you brought that clip to light, because this guy, man, he's edgy. You know what I mean? You're that new kind of guy out here. Not that kind of guy, but I'm saying you're, edgy. So let's just move on, shall we? Yeah.
One, two. We are the world. We are the children.
The greatest artists of the generation came together to save some lives.
That's us being a dream, huh?
But we only had one night to get this right. Let's get this party started. I received this call from Belafonte, and he wants to do some kind of a song for famine relief in Africa. Basically, what he said was, I need you.
We just thought we'd pull together as many artists as we could and figure it out. It was just wish list.
Said yes without knowing who was going to be on it.
Bob Dylan, Stevie Wonder, Paul Simon, Cyndi Lauper,
Bette Midler,
Billy Joel,
Steve Perry,
Willie Nelson. I think we have Tina,
Sheila E.,
Diana Ross.
Everybody was there.
I'm at the house with Michael writing this.
So normally our throwback is for older films, but this is an old moment done by a new documentary, and I just thought that this was a phenomenal thing that we had to talk about. But I also didn't want to push Bob off another week. Bob needs to be talked about when Bob comes out. So, you know what I'm saying? Just put them two together and then we rock out, like how it's supposed to happen. So I did not notice this documentary existed until I was in Tampa, stuck in the house waiting on my best friend to come back from clothes shopping. And then I put on Netflix from my godson's TV, and boom, it's right there. It was right there on the big screen. When you go into Netflix, it's like the thing right there. I was like, what the hell is this? And I clicked on it, and then God just brought down blessings. So, what about you guys? I mean, did you because I don't remember playing a trailer. I don't remember seeing a trailer for this. Did you guys, any of you guys aware of this film?
No, actually, I it snuck up on me too. I think they dropped it in there just for Black History Month. Almost it seemed like, because I had no idea, no trailer or anything. And the same thing, I went in there and I was like, oh, okay, let's get into it.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Dad Panther?
Yeah, I didn't mean to. You brought throw those poor timing on that one, but yeah, I had seen it. Anything with Michael Jackson kind of grabs my attention. They got a biopic coming out with his nephew in it, so yeah, I was aware of it.
Okay, Iris.
Yeah, no, I didn't really see the commercials for it. I just heard about it, but I didn't watch anything in regards to it, you know. But I was excited. I was excited because, you know, I like the song. They had a lot of, you know, good people on it, so I was excited to see it.
Okay, so Iris, go ahead and pivot into your highs and lows.
If I can say with my lows, I didn't really have any lows. Because it's not like it was a movie. It was a documentary. It's supposed to be informative, show you pieces and clips and everything from back in the day. And like my highs, I would have to say it's like I felt like I was being sucked back into the 80s. Like with all of the clips and, you know, just I loved it. Like the shots they took in the beginning where they show you how the cassettes are being put together and things like that. It was just, I felt so immersed and like sucked back into the past. And I was like, oh my God, I love it. And I just enjoyed the flow of it. Like how they presented, hey, these were all of our key people that we were looking for. And, you know, how it all connected, like, you know, how we got this person, how we got that person, you know, the people who left that didn't show up like they were supposed to. And, you know, how they had just this one night to pull this big ass song with all of these big artists in all different genres. You know, it wasn't just one, it was rock, pop, you know, a little bit of country, you know, they brought them all together so that it could a little bit. They brought all of them together to show like, hey, you know, basically how the song is called, We Are the World, like, and how Lionel, you know, handled everybody. Like, I love that he put the note there, like, hey, leave your ego out the door. This is not about, you know, who's better than the next person. This is, hey, we need to do this. We need to put this out there to bring attention to what's really important and what's really going on in Africa. And I thought it was beautiful. I enjoyed it. I literally cried at the end with Lionel when he was like, this is my home. This is my house, you know? And it's like it, and it's true. You know, you remember being together, pulling something amazing together with your family at the time, basically. And it's like you remember the good times, the bad times of this one night, and how amazing and how significant it is to our history, to our, you know, like pop culture in general when it comes to music. And I loved it. I have nothing horrible to say about it. I thought it was amazing. And I will watch it again.
That's what's up.
All right, Dad Panther.
I like anything music wise, period. But to get Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, you had Bruce Springsteen. They were like, the lineup was ridiculous. And to see how they put this together with no TikTok, no Facebook to get together, it was stay late, and they were like 4 a.m. type of I just thought it was so interesting to see this story of a song that we probably kind of heard or 100% heard growing up as kids, and details of backstories like trying to get Prince and other stuff. So my low would be there's just nothing else. Like it made you want to go find an 80s 90s playlist and just stay in that vibe. The good I would say is just that it happened, that we were a part of that intimacy of watching how that was set up. And like I said, the stories, these little nuggets, like Michael Jackson talking about he's writing the song and Lionel Richie was like, Michael just turned and said, "Oh, there he is. It's my snake. You're gonna see him. I've been looking for him." And Lionel was running around like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" It's like, "No, you gotta meet Bubbles. Come on, we're gonna write a song." And I'm like, "That's some classic to see." So yeah.
Agreed. Eddie.
So I'm not going to beat a dead horse with the highs, but we all appreciate the talent that was on there. I had no idea of the who was responsible for writing the song. It was just always a classic to me. So that tidbit was very interesting to me. Lionel Richie telling us how the beginning process and how they didn't really have a song, and then how they had to figure out how to book people, and then all of a sudden they only had 10 days to get a song. I thought that was actually pretty phenomenal. And I loved the way they showed how they had to record it, the aspects and everything. It was all great. For lows for me, surprisingly, I know nobody really had any, but I know Quincy Jones, 90 years old. I'm not sure what his communication skills are at this point, but I would have loved to get Quincy's perspective on some points if he could have. Stevie Wonder, I would have loved for him to have been a part of this documentary. Not sure why that didn't happen. Also, I would have loved to get the perspective of Cyndi Lauper's boyfriend who told her not to do it because he thought it was going to be a flop. I would love to just shove a camera in his face and be like, I'm sorry, what? What? Yeah, okay. Yeah. So that for me would have made the documentary that much better, to follow up on those people who thought that this wasn't worth the effort and this wasn't going to be anything. And again, like they said, it takes you back. I watched this with my fiance while I was visiting, that week I was gone. And then while we were on the road, we just listened to that and a whole bunch of 80s songs. We went through like 3 Michael Jackson albums, kept going, and the nostalgia and taking you back, it holds. And that's what's great. It's like, when we go back to a lot of things, sometimes it just doesn't feel the same. But what I loved about this and all the musically people involved is that it takes you back to something that still holds true and will hold beyond us. That's all I got.
Got you. All right. For me, this was special. I kept remembering, and I know this is like a really lame kind of plug, something that we're about to do. Is this reminds me of our 24-hour broadcast. Like the insanity of that is what we used to do when we were just doing audio, and it was like months of planning, calling literally hundreds of artists because you knew 80% of them weren't going to come, and then like you might get 50% of the artists, you know what I mean, and then like you have all of this stuff planned out, nothing goes the way it's planned, and it's just audible after audible after audible. So like there was just something nostalgic in that. It triggered memories for me. Number 2, remembering what it was like to be a recording artist. And like the thing I loved is they really paid attention to the nuances and gave you nuances about these are the biggest stars in the world. But when they're in the room together, they're shy, they're intimidated. One's intimidated by another person, and certain like there's like, oh yeah, we know we got troublemakers. Stevie's gonna be a troublemaker. I'm like, Stevie gonna be a troublemaker, but what their meaning is that he's gonna be telling a lot of jokes. He's gonna be trying to like throw shit off because he's just so fucking good. He can turn it on and off, whereas other people may not have that capability. And it's just a beautiful story about how difficult it is to create something out of thin air. And I feel like people don't give respect to the process of putting something together. This was something I didn't ask for. There was never once me laying in bed looking up at the sky going, God, how did they make this record? Like there was never a wishing for this, but like the entire time I'm watching it, I'm going, thank God. Thank you, God. Like I needed to see this. Not that it really changed my life, but it's like, yo, I have like, you respect people like Quincy Jones, but when you see shit like this, it puts your respect level on Like, God damn, like I saw what you did with Michael, but for this one song to take a concept and to be like, you know what, I'm just going to tell all of, I'm going to tell all of the big stars, I'm going to get them in here and we're going to make it happen. And everybody kept saying the only person that could do that is Quincy Jones. He's respected and it was like Quincy Jones and there was this other, and I apologize to this wonderful Caucasian man. He was kind of tall and it was like, yo, he was like a Hollywood darling because he was an executive. And it was like between them two making phone calls, they got it together. And then like the fact that it's attached to a nonprofit. And then at the end, I'm learning stuff about the record that I didn't know. Like there was so much learning for me that I loved. Like I was alive and kicking when this record came out. And I don't remember there being it's gonna play at the same time on every radio station. I don't remember that around the world. I remember the record coming out and I remember it being played on the radio and I remember enjoying it as a kid. It's like this record is like when I smell weed and it takes me back to like my parents' first home and remembering the smell of weed but never seeing it. But you smell, so when you get older, you smell it, it takes you back into those moments. Like listening to that record takes me back to the 80s. And it's just like, yeah, these were like the biggest stars in the world. Like, yeah, like, wow. And when you think about, all right, and the reason why for the young people that aren't, wooed by what we doing, just imagine getting Drake, T.I., Ross, getting all of the like mega rap stars in one room. Like Wayne, I'm talking about they beefing and all. Niggas may not even fuck with each other. Like, and then on top of that, let's add in all the country singers. Let's add in, like, you're talking about literally trillions of dollars worth of artists in one room. And then no cell phones. And then sign above the door, like Iris said, check your ego.
They needed it in Braille, though.
Facts.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. But that's, first of all, it's almost impossible. Thank you, sir. Tom can't pronounce the last name. Sorry, Iris. I'm horrible with names.
Baylor.
Tom Baylor, the vocal arranger. But like, it's hard to get these guys to come together to do their own music, but to do a song for, to be locked in a studio for 18, 19 hours after a award show, after being drunk. I don't even remember them saying they got them niggas food. They was up in that bitch drunk though. So anyway, it was a phenomenal experience, man. And I appreciate you guys giving me the levity of throwing that on you and you guys watching it. It's just, once I saw it, I was like, yo, everybody needs to see this. This is a crazy documentary. So, yes, 2010, they did a song again with a new artist. Notice that you said new artist. Because ain't no niggas now, ain't none of them famous niggas now going to do that shit. And there's no producer big enough that he can make a call. And
it was Wyclef or Gene Wyclef, whatever his name. I think it was for Haiti. And it had Nipsey, Kanye, Usher, Jamie Foxx. It wasn't as diverse, but they tried it again. Nobody remembers it.
No.
Yeah, I don't want to disrespect any of those people at that moment, so we'll just say God bless them. So all right, so let's get to reviewing this for the people. All right, so the question is it a classic? Is this a good watch? Is it a catch on streaming? Is it not doing it for me? Is it freak balls? All right, is it a or is it a
I love it.
Maybe laugh. I apologize.
So what happened to our effects?
No, he rolled with it. He's like, hey, you know what? The freak balls was the cue that it wasn't going. He was like, fuck it, we're gonna keep it moving.
Exactly. I was like, oh shit, it's not working.
Yeah, when he rolled with it, I love it.
All right. Iris, what is your rating, madam?
Before I give my rating, I did want to point out just one thing about this. That during the documentary, I know they mentioned Dan Aykroyd like just one time, but then you heard nothing about him. And strangely enough, he was involved with this song by accident because he had like some business arrangement in town during the time. And some people were like, oh, why was he included anyway? Because people forget he was a musician when he was in the Blues Brothers. And he did do an album. I forget. I think it was like called Briefcase something, Briefcase Full of Blues, I think it was back in 1978.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I mean, and it was, and that album actually went #1. So I thought that was cool. I wish they would have gave us a little more on that, but I just wanted to throw that out because I think that was kind of an important tidbit in regards to this.
No, I respect that. I respect that. Shout out to Dan Aykroyd for pulling up and adding 1.0% of nothing out of this gigantic mega record. But
he was part of the chorus.
He was in the chorus somewhere. Just like Shorty that walked out because she felt like she was being used to get Prince.
She played us up. She played us up.
She knew what it was. Now that country artist who left said, "I ain't gonna say no African stuff. I ain't doing this." And he left.
Oh, Whaler? Yeah,
he
freaking moron.
Kind of with him though. If I was white in that time period, I would have said the same exact shit, bro. Bitch, what the fuck you think I'm doing? I'm a megastar, motherfucker. I'm not coming to sing your nigga jingles.
But he could have said it. Look, listen, others said it with their eyes. When remember Stevie was like, "We're gonna say Swahili," and some of them were saying it, but the look on their face was like,
"This is some bullshit."
Because it was 4 a.m. and you want to add some shit now. We already been working hard to this point. I would have got mad and left too.
But that's how awesome this is because the legends were so big. They were doing it, but their face was like, we're not supposed to be adding it. And then Lionel didn't want to say nothing, and Quincy didn't want to say nothing. I was like, how do we stop these mega stars who are creative to just fucking listen?
But I tell them they didn't speak Swahili in Ethiopia. So let's
but
drop that shit now.
About like, I don't think they speak. And Steve was like, it don't matter. Sound good, right?
What was it with the shalala, whatever?
Yeah.
Whatever. Let's rate this thing. Come on, Iris, what's your rating?
All right, guys. So for a documentary, I would have to rate this a classic.
All right, Dad Panther, where you at with it?
I mean, there's so many good moments out of this and little stories, but to, again, see Michael Jackson, who's normally chill with his hands behind his back, watching Huey Lewis and Cyndi Lauper in that little section, and they're like, and he was like, just, and then he knew what he was doing, showing up hella early and just like killing, like, I'm putting my name on this, and the whole thing was like he wasn't supposed to be a part of it. He was, I just want to ride it. I don't want to do anything. I just want to ride it. I want to chill with Bubbles, and that's it. This is a classic. If Michael Jackson was like, "Hey, reviews, what do you want to do? What would you say this is?" I'm like, it's a classic.
Nah, most definitely. At the end of the day, Mike used that as this was the dojo for him, and he came to see who was the best. Let's be honest. The only reason why Mike stepped in the room is because he thought to himself, let me see if anybody really can fuck with me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, I know Stevie can fuck with me, but that's my dog. Like, we ain't really about to go like that. But let's see because you watch him in this documentary. He's just sitting back watching niggas going, oh yeah, y'all niggas ain't shit. Y'all niggas ain't shit, boy. Because every time he was like, okay, let's hit it from the top. He was killing that shit. And everybody else was struggling like a motherfucker, boy. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that shit was lit for real. Eddie, how you feel, man?
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely a classic. And I know that this is going to be one of those things that if anybody comes across says, oh, I never saw it, we turn it on immediately. It's definitely a classic.
Facts. Like, yo, holidays. Like, if you got a black family, you know what? Fuck a black family. If you got any family that's American and grew up in that time period, y'all need to, especially if you got older aunts and uncles, oh man, throw this on. Your whole family will have the biggest conversation for hours off of this because everybody's got their pick of who their favorite superstar is. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, like, it's a beautiful, man. It was a beautiful film. I'm giving this straight classic. I gotta give some hand claps to it. It was so unexpected. Once again, like Netflix keeps dropping his balls on y'all heads. Y'all keep coming out every now and then and start talking like y'all got some shit popping. Max will try to flex on a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Hulu will drop something fly. And then, Netflix will be like, oh, that's cool. Zip. Like, and it be so subtle. Like, they just be slapping the oh my god! Like, shout out to Netflix, phenomenal. Once again, like, lordy. I'm sorry.
I believe in a room there's an executive like Wolf of Wall Street. He's like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna drop our balls on them, and they just go. They're doing the same thing that you're talking about. They're doing behind closed doors. So I ain't mad at it.
They'd be like, oh, cute. Look, Star Trek. Good for you, Paramount Plus. Bring in the next 10 films. Bam, 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 bam. Like, it'd be some intern talking about, yo, I was over in Germany. They got this dope TV show. Like, yeah, throw it in there too. Like, fucking, Netflix will give you classics and the kitchen sink. And they'll pull some out of the toilet and throw that bitch on there too. Like, whatever you want, baby. You want it? You want a hand job? Reach around, Javi. We got the whole buffet for you, baby. Come on in. Like, and they keep serving it. Like, it's crazy. All right, I'm sorry. Yeah. Let's move away from it. All right, it's a light week, but you know what I'm saying? When a fine woman comes out of the woodwork and gets to being on top of some big things, we got to talk about it. The gorgeous Eva Longoria joins Only Murders in the Building season 4. Yes. I already love this woman and wish I could do some things. And I already love this show. And now you're gonna bring fine Eva Longoria in with these two skeleton old men. Like, bro, let's do it. Let's blow some life into these old white men. You know what I'm saying? And get this thing back to Krizakin. So, like, I can't wait. If you haven't watched Only Murders in the Building, beautiful show. Fun for the whole family. There's nothing over the top, but it is definitely great, funny, dry humor. If you are the type of individual that requires slapstick and crude humor to get you through, this ain't the show for you. All right. All right. Bob Marley breaks box office records with 14 million gross in last weekend. The new biopic becomes the biggest midweek Valentine's Day opener ever. The film has raked in a total of 62 million. This was actually taken about I screenshotted this a couple of days ago. So we obviously know that they've actually grossed way more than that. But you know what I'm saying? Essentially, they were saying the biggest box office biopic opening weekend was with Whitney Houston and her film. Wait a minute, let me see. Let's see if I can read this small stuff. Variety reports that Paramount's musical biopic Bob Marley 1 ruled at the box office, debuting, beating expectations. With millions and millions in traditional weekend and 51 million by the end of the weekend during the 6-day holiday stretch. It was initially projected to generate 30 million to 35 million between Valentine's Day on Wednesday and the President's Day on Monday, but it experienced an uptick because audiences dug One Love, which landed an encouraging cinematic score from moviegoers. Critics weren't as fond of the by the numbers retelling of Marley's life and music career, as the evidenced by the film's 43% rotten average on Rotten Tomatoes. As a reviewer, I would like to tell all reviewers, including myself, shut the fuck up. Yo, the reviewers I've seen review this movie, you obviously spend too much time watching movies and y'all are not getting enough sex at home. This is a dope, you know what? Let me shut my mouth. All right, let me get back to reading what I was reading. Let's see. Overseas. I'm trying to see the part where they was talking about. All right, for comparison, Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody grossed $59 million worldwide. She had the record before and they broke the record. Okay. Y'all want to say something without getting into the review?
No, sir. Congratulations to Bob Marley, One Love.
Thank you. Yep, thank you. All right, the next, we've got some conversation about the upcoming Peanuts spinoff, Franklin.
One of the things I wanted to do, which it was a conversation. What didn't happen fast. I wanted Franklin to break the fourth wall, to explain the Peanuts characters have never turned to face the camera to talk. The camera's invisible and just watches them action from a distance, just watches them. I wanted him to turn close to the camera and talk to the camera, because I thought that only by doing that would he have a chance to explain who and what he's all about, and to have people and have the audience address him at the same time, to receive him face to face. No noise, no internet, no nonsense. I think that the damage that was done by having misconceptions about the Thanksgiving table scene were serious. And it could have caused the misconceptions to continue even through this special, thinking it was just a tokenism or was some kind of thing. So I wanted the confrontation to be direct. And I'm so happy that stayed in. That's one of the most important things about this special that distinguish it from other Peanut special. We now have Franklin's accounting of who he is and what he values, and no one can fault him anymore or blame him for the past.
Damn. I would like to say I did not know Peanuts was so deep and that they needed to go into so much stuff. Looking at the image from the video, and I know it's too small for the people watching on television, but there was like a Thanksgiving table, and it looks like Franklin's on one side and he's black, and then by himself, and on the other side of the table there is the entire Peanuts cast that is Caucasian. So I don't remember this scene. However, when I was a kid, I didn't look at racial stuff, so I really wasn't picking any on what was going on. So obviously now looking at this as a grown man, I'm going, that doesn't look good. So I guess them needing to address this to kind of make the story more valid. Cool, do what you got to do. I'm going to say this, but I don't really mean this to be a knock against this intellectual property, but sometimes I just want to see stuff without everything having to have a racial component to it. Sometimes I want to enjoy black content without having to always be reminded that, you know, I'm under fire or a part of some fucked up system. So I hope that they don't I hope they don't besmirch the greatness of Peanuts by like, all right, back up the black truck of bullshit. Let's get it in here. All right, racism, abuse. Come on, dump it in here. Because if you're black, you gotta have that. Like, I don't necessarily, to me, my prayer and the thing that made me excited about seeing this trailer from Franklin was, wow, we're gonna have a black character that would now be treated like one of the other kids, just another kid in the group, not being the black kid in the group, not being somebody that needed to be treated differently. And now Charlie got to tiptoe around the blackness or whatever. It was like, yo, two kids just growing up, living their life together. I would like to see that. You know, not him being treated less than, or him being treated like he ain't shit and we not talking about it, or, you know, he just so happened to have the drug dealing dad and the pistol fall out the pocket driving down the street, or, you know, or he got to tell some stupid story about his dad wasn't there. No, nigga, he got a mom and a dad, and they married and they living in a house, and him coming out the house and he's a happy, healthy child, not, you know, the history of whatever, like. And I know that's a fantasy for you white people. It's hard for y'all to swallow, but, you know, some people do come from two-parent households, goddammit. Hence me being retarded. All right. So anyway,
You should have told me that. You mixing that with the video you showed, I'm thinking the opening scene of Franklin is him standing outside. There's a store, there's people shopping. He's like, hey, and he turns that fourth wall. He's like, I'm Franklin. You might know me from da 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 da, but there's more to know about me. And he pulls down a ski mask and goes in the store and robs it. And he comes back up and he's like, we got to get this money. And then the intro hits. You're like, damn. Franklin hit different.
Exactly. That sounds crazy. Speaking of what you just said, that sounds just like Vince Staples' new TV series.
That's on my list.
The Vince Staples Show.
Oh my God, this show is phenomenal. And if y'all don't mind, let me show you. I want to have a brief discussion. We're not going to get into a review. I'm not going to spoil anything.
Hey, we don't have that much news. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. All right.
Oh.
How was your day?
I bailed you out last week.
We ain't got no chicken for you. Next.
That's cool.
Come on, Vince. Hey, cuz.
Let me hold something, nephew.
What's up with dude?
Anything interesting happen?
Lemon pepper.
Certain actions require responses.
All right. I didn't want to go too far down the rabbit hole on that. Now, okay, Vince Staples is a rapper. More than a rapper, he's an MC, master of ceremonies, meaning that he's a lyricist. He respects hip hop to the level of making sure to not disrespect the culture by doing ignorant content. He is a young man. I think he might be 28, 29. All right. He is super intelligent. He is gang related. And he has very smartly maneuvered through the entertainment industry, realized that hip hop wasn't paying him no real money, and has finagled him way into Hollywood and into the loving arms of Netflix, he was giving him a budget for him to produce a TV show that he has physically written himself. He wrote the base script, and then they brought in a team around him to help him cultivate the script. He was given the budget, and Kenyon Barris is the executive producer, and there's also another wonderful black woman who was also an executive producer to back him in the process of him shooting this film. If you would like more details pertaining to his process, he's done a bunch of interviews recently talking in depth about his struggles and his difficulties, not only getting the script written in a fashion that Netflix will approve, but also getting it shot and putting it out. This is not a full series. They made sure to, when they put this shit up on Netflix, it was a limited series by Vince Staples. I immediately disliked that. Yo, it's already known that you gave this nigga no money to shoot this. You know, you gave him $200 and some canned soup and a couple of cans of beans. You know what I'm saying? And he out here trying to shoot it. But you didn't have to put the words limited series on there. Why y'all had to do that? Why you ain't just call it the Vince Staples Show and let it ride? You know, it's 6 episodes. And I would like to say that I love this show. Very simple show. It was not over the top. They were on a bunch of explosions. It's funny. I think somebody's best try the description of it. They was like, yo, this is Atlanta on the West Coast.
There you go.
And I was like, yo, dope way of saying it. Like,
that's exactly what I was gonna say.
It's pretty much every episode is a day in the life of Vince Staples. He is himself. He is a rapper that is well known. And he is literally living his life in LA, and things like getting pulled over, or, you know, going to the bank, or going, like, he's having these everyday life experiences, and all of these things happen, going to family functions. That it's simple, but it's phenomenal, because you get to see how a young black celebrity whom is still connected to his community, for better or for worse, how he has to navigate day-to-day life, how he has to balance street life with celebrity, how so much stuff is intertwined. How as much as you would think he would not have to deal with certain issues in life, he still has to deal with, no matter the fact that he's super popular and toured the world. You still, nigga. So Eddie, did you get to watch any of it? Or
yeah, I got all the way through it. I loved it. It was a great experience, and that's exactly what I felt like. I felt like it was Atlanta on the West Coast, and then it being the perspective of an artist who's actually affiliated. I thought that was even greater. You know what I'm saying? And to touch on all the aspects of life, like you said, from that perspective, where you still got the street credit, music wise, street credit as far as your affiliation, and then you got. But the people in the industry or the white people still not taking you seriously, they want to really throw money at you. Still got to work around stuff despite your success. I loved it. I enjoyed every aspect of it. I at first, when it very first started, I was worried that when the situation happened with the police, I was worried it's going to be another struggle project, and I was already rolling my eyes. But then when I saw where it was going, I just sit back and enjoyed the ride.
Word, and it doesn't. This is something I love. It had things that are very hard to swallow conceptually. There's one scene on, I don't know which episode, and I'm not going to give away too much details, but somebody's after him. And that person is after him and has an innocent person.
Responsibilities with him.
He has a responsibility with that person. And then they have a clash. And then, our main character leaves and has to look at what is left behind. And that shit is not, it's not funny. It's a light moment, but it's not funny. It's fucked up. And it's like real life. Like, you gotta get up, you gotta get the fuck out of there. And you see what you see, and it's a realization of what you done and how fucked up what you just did is. But it's that scene alone was like, the layering on this shit is crazy. Yeah, you could watch it and it just be funny, or it just be this. But if you want to keep digging deeper into the complexity of the scenes, the complexity of the characters, and then how in the end of every episode, it ends with this kind of shit being shit. You know what I mean? Like, and this guy's sitting at home. He comes home, and I don't want to give it away because it's just that great. I feel like the nuance. I feel like everybody should watch it. It's so nuanced. It's so brilliant from somebody so young. Once again, the 2024 Black experience. How we're dissecting our historical experiences. I think he did a great job. They need to get that man more money so that he can do another season. And this little 6-episode bullshit, y'all need to get this shit the fuck out of here and get that a nice 10, 12 episode joint.
They will.
He's fire. He's a gem. He's a gem in the making. Like, man, if you can come like that, you can, when you watch it, you see that they don't have a budget, but it's not because of the production. You can just how simplistic they went about stuff, but it actually adds weight to the show. Because if we had gone over the top, it would have been too much. I feel like by not having a budget, it forced them to hammer down on the script, hammer down on the character development, hammer down on the how do we sell this concept very simplistically and it make it powerful. And I feel like the more simplistic that it was, the more powerful the messages became, because it's raw. You know what I mean? Mastermind says, do your history on Peanuts and you'll see how progressive it is. And it didn't shy away from race. Charles Schwartz was that. Shout out to him. You are very correct. So with that being said, we're gonna move on. I don't want to spend too much time on this. Now I do have something for my guy Eddie. You asked us a question. Is a story or a hip-hop story, is this a real film? It is a real film. It comes out today. It is in 150 theaters around the country, including Baltimore and 4 theaters. And I know it's in Atlanta. And let's let the man talk
See,
about it.
comedians are crazier than these rappers right now. Bro.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I used to always say this in interviews. I was like, man, comedians, we're not rappers, man. Let's not beef with each other and do all that. But it's really there now.
It's getting worse.
Yeah.
Why though? I don't know. I have nothing to do with it. I've never been the guy that brings his personal beefs into the public. If I say anything about somebody, it's gonna be positive. I have positive things to say about all these guys, but you know that's not a popular message. You know what I'm saying? So I just stay out of it. It has nothing to do with me. I don't ever get involved in that kind of stuff. If I got a problem with you, me and you could talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's as simple as that. Like we grown as fuck. Like why am I on a microphone talking about anybody?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just call you, and if we could work it out, we can work it out. If not, I just don't mess with you.
Do you feel like it hurts or helps comedy?
I think
right
it.
now?
Oh man, I thought the clip said that he was supposed to be talking about the film, but I didn't get into stuff. So anyway, a hip hop story is out now. Faison Crockett wrote this. Him and Charlie Mack. It's in theaters. It's only in theaters for right now. They don't have a distribution deal for the digital. So I would encourage any and all black people. I'm taking my black ass to the theater on Saturday, and I'm going to watch the. Yo, believe it or not, my theater that I normally go to sold out the whole weekend. Tonight sold out, Friday night sold out, Saturday night sold out, Sunday night sold out. So somebody got the message and they making it crack. So I would encourage everybody. And there you go, Eddie. I know you were wanting to see this, so hopefully this will help, get you in the game.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Y'all want to learn how to make TikToks real quick?
Let's do it.
All right.
Today, we're going to talk about how I frame my vertical videos. See, the most of us, we came from the horizontal video era, and we just had to adapt. I'm not saying that is bad or good, but rather a necessity. So, let's break down how to still achieve cinematic images while filming vertically. Number one, my golden guide is this vertical line right here. We don't have the luxury of using the rule of thirds like when we do filming horizontally, but that's okay. The overall weight of the composition should be centered. Whether it's leading lines, B-roll, a two-shot of anything, any subject really, it should be balanced to the center. Cut! Okay, so here's a pro tip. When filming yourself talking, you don't always need to be facing forward and centered. Turn your body and put your lead eye in the center. It's a more captivating composition to grab your audience's attention. And some of the most iconic paintings and photographs have proven so. Number two, place things in the front and behind you to give your compositions a feeling of depth. The layering of what's out of focus in the foreground and the background will give that sense of depth. Help making your images look more interesting. And lastly, number three, film what's important above this lower third. Everything below this is dead space. It'll be covered by your username, caption, and subtitling. Well, that's all, folks. Hope these tips help, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
Yay!
I'm so jealous of the kids nowadays. Like TikTok, you'll get people that'll tell you how to shoot movies and technology, all this stuff at your fingertip versus, the past where they had to figure that out on their own as they would do a project. And it's so interesting watching kind of these time groups merge together and see what they create in the future. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I've made a lot of laughable stuff in the past trying to figure it out as I go.
Oh, good. You want to release it so we can see it?
You left some a few years ago. I realized I need to put away after your reaction. So
I still love you, man. Iris, what you think? You gonna make us some TikTok?
I don't have TikTok, so no. But I will do videos on IG.
Okay, Queen. Don't forget stuff behind you, put stuff in front of you, depth of field, and then do the sideway with your eye in the middle.
Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna show y'all right now.
Hello.
Boom.
All right, you still off. You gotta a little bit. Yeah, you still off center a little bit. Yeah. All right.
No, she's center.
Did you just say while she's a center?
No, I said she is center. She is front and center.
Like, why do I get freaky, yo? Like, we talking about shooting stuff, and you talk, shooting stuff. Oh, shit. You a nasty nigga. All right, yo, let's run it back to the 80s to one of the scariest things that used to freak me out as a kid. So those at home, if you're watching or you're listening, excuse me, you're listening and you're not watching, this TV show is called V. It is about a alien invasion, but I don't know. I don't remember if this was. There was a bunch of like aliens come from another planet shit. Because there's one where the aliens came from another planet and integrated with humans, and they looked like humans, but they also were something else. And then they had I think this was the alien invaders, but they had like human skins.
But they were reptiles underneath.
Reptiles underneath.
Wait, so you mean like now?
Let's move on.
Everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
How are you? That's all I want to know. All right. So with that being said, I don't even know how to reply to that. So I would always tell people venture back into the day, man. There's always some great old school content to jump into. I actually want to watch V and a couple of the other ones because I feel like I might have ducked away from it so much because I was so scared of it. And it's not that it was scary. It's just that my brain will soak shit in, and then my brain will turn it into movies and it'll replay it every night. And then
it was a great show.
Yeah, so like, you know what I mean? I definitely want to see. So with that being said, is it
Did you watch the reboot in 2009?
Oh hell no.
Yeah, that was a big mess too. They only had 2 seasons.
Yeah, I'm a pussy. That's I ain't that nigga. You know what I mean? So anyway, all right. Is there anything else y'all want to do before we go into the big review?
I think we're good.
Oh, I'm dumb. Sorry. My apologies. Let's get into this. Wicked.
The best way to bring folks together
Something has changed within me.
is to give them a real good enemy.
You're green. I am. Something is not the same.
So this is if I'm assuming correctly, this is a movie about the making of the Wicked Witch of the West.
Okay, let me jump into this right quick.
All right, please do.
It is basically the Wicked Witch as we know her wasn't really as bad as it's portrayed in The Wizard of Oz, you know, with Dorothy and things like that. So it basically shows them at school training, you know, using their magic, using their powers and blah, 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 blah. And how Glenda, the good witch, kind of sucked. And how the Wicked Witch didn't at least when it came to magic. And just basically the backstory of how she gets the title of being the Wicked Witch, but that isn't necessarily the case. Because at least in the play, it shows how in the end she runs away with the person she's in love with and stuff like that. So I'm hoping at least in the movie, they kind of keep to what it was in the play. Because I loved it. I saw it on Broadway. I enjoyed it. So yeah, so it's kind of like the storyline of Maleficent, you know, how in Sleeping Beauty she's seen as the bad guy, but in the Angelina Jolie movies it shows how she really isn't. That's just the rumors and the title that she took over, and she just stuck with it, similar to how it is for the Wicked Witch.
So we take a beautiful black woman and then we force her to sit in a chair for 4 hours as we completely cover every beautiful chocolate part of her body with green stuff. And then we stick her in scenes with a majority of white people and sprinkle in 3 black people amongst 200 white people. And am I not supposed to feel like you're doing this intentionally just to get on my nerves, to maybe bring up more hype, to bring people to the theater? Or are we just doing some shit just to get the white people in there so they can hate on black people?
Okay. Go for it.
Honestly, what you're feeling is exactly what the story is based on. Like she was saying that she wasn't really even beginning, but because of the color of her skin, that she was green. and everybody else treated her different. And after a while, she stopped trying to fit in, just be like, "Fuck it, I'll be that."
Yeah.
So it is exactly what you're feeling. But that was the premise of the whole story with Wicked.
That's the point.
Yeah, that's the
To
feel
feel
they
that.
want you to get. Yeah, so I would recommend watch this if you haven't seen the play or heard the musical. This is not just Tony, but like the same sense of Hamilton, Chicago, Moulin Rouge. This is one of these epic, historic, foundational pieces in Broadway and theater. And so many people have played roles on this that have gone on to do other things to be household name. Like I can't think of the name, but the lady who sings or plays the voice for Elsa on Frozen came from this. The TikTok song "You're Gonna Be Popular" that comes from that. So this is a part of pop culture, and there's nothing racial about the green screen and everything. It's that deeper image that everyone can say, don't judge a book by its cover.
And that's Idina Menzel.
There you go.
Yeah. She was on Glee also.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All righty then.
Shay's like trash.
No, it's really, really good. It's really good. You gotta see it.
Half the box office right now is musical.
Yeah.
Musicals. You had The Color Purple that didn't do well, but you had Mean Girls, Wonka.
How many of those did you watch?
Listen. I got my pinky up, you know, because it's got to be a really good musical for me to watch. And I listen to musical playlists as if they're 90 R&B. So,
and Wicked was actually a really good musical.
Yes, it
was. I'm very picky when it comes to that, and Wicked was actually a good one. I kind of fell asleep at Hamilton, but we just. I'm sorry, guys. It was good, but it just felt like it was so long, and I was like, "Oh, get to the point." And yeah,
I think we're good to move on.
In my ear, make my troubles disappear.
Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption songs.
When you write that?
All my life. Don't let them fool you.
It's a hit. Reggae is the people music.
Yeah, I mean the big dog, the legend, the worldwide phenomenon, megastar, like lover man, you know, preacher man, you know what I'm saying? Like he is the messenger. He is a father. He is wow. I am very versed in Bob Marley's story. I have watched at least 6 Bob Marley documentaries in my life because I just think he is such a interesting character. To be so impactful over so many decades and to really be as impactful today as he was. If not, I feel like he's almost more impactful now because his children have found ways to diversify every inch of him, from speakers to coffee to weed to, you know, the Marley brand worldwide is ginormous. On top of the fact of his music and his story connecting with billions of people. So this film had a high bar to jump over, in my opinion. I was clowning the hell out of this trailer when it came out. If you go back to previous real reviews in December and November, I had nothing nice to say about this. I was not excited to see this. I was like, this is going to crash and burn. Fuck this fucking British guy. He can suck my dick. I'm sorry. I apologize. It's a kid's show. My bad.
I don't think that's why she's offended.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Like
Not at all.
I wasn't with this. You know what I mean? Marley means a lot to me, and it just seemed like it wasn't gonna be right. The trailer wasn't doing it for me. I'm just being honest. I saw an interview with, oh God, let me see if I can pronounce this, Kingsley Ben Adir. I watched him on The Breakfast Club. He sat down. There were 3 key things that he said.
No. I'm sorry.
Okay.
My bad.
If you feeling some kind of way, I mean, I'm chilling.
No.
I'll give up the 3 secrets.
All right. Yeah, right.
Children.
Yeah, if you want to take over, it's all you, baby. Like, I don't want no problem. All right. So so 3 things that really convinced me that this is something I should watch. Number 1, he said he spent 6 months minimum working on the accent. That meant a lot to me because I can barely understand what Bob Marley's saying in interviews. The last thing I needed was him to fluck it all up, just fumbling through, not committing to sounding like the man. That's number 1. Number 2, he admits that I am vastly taller than him. Technically, I shouldn't. And he said, I tried to convince them to find people for almost a year before they almost was like, look, nigga, you have to do this. Second thing. Third thing was him admitting, bro, everybody says Bob Marley doesn't move in predictable patterns, meaning that the way he dance, it's not really a dance. It's almost like if you see him on stage performing, and there are tons of videos on YouTube if you want to see Bob Marley's live performances. If you've ever been to a spiritual church or like a Baptist church, when they are, I don't want to say possessed, but when they are hit with the spirit, there's a very spastic kind of like this kind of unorthodox thing. And Bob will smoke weed, get on stage, and that music and the energy overtakes him. And he goes into almost like a spiritual, ritualistic thing. And Ben spoke very lengthily about, we have to get these elements right because these are the things people know most about him. His private stories are new for us, but the things that we see on stage, the things that we've heard in interviews, if I can't get these right, then we can't do the movie. And him detailing how many times during the shooting, the whole family was there. The friends were there, and they were from take to take, are saying, this is working. This isn't working. Let's shoot this again. He's not going to say this. When I heard that they were doing that level of detail work into crafting this character, that's when I said, okay, I need to see this movie. Like, he's earned my respect. He's earned me to take the risk, even though I was going to go anyway. But I went with a certain level of confidence. I kind of was like, all right, cool. I'm not stressed out. I'm not going in with a bias. I'm not going in hating out the gate. You know what I'm saying? But I was ready to hate. Don't get it twisted. I was ready to come out in this motherfucker and light this mother up like a Christmas tree. God damn it. If it was bad, believe me, Ben Adir would have been lit like a motherfucker if he had not done a good job. Or did a good job. We don't know. We don't know yet. I haven't said anything. So that is my initial impressions. Mr. Lingo.
Yeah, for me, my initial impression, I was not looking forward to watching it. The number one reason is because I felt like that I wasn't a big enough Marley fan. I only knew the content that has been repeated over different platforms for years, those iconic hooks. I don't know any of the lyrics. I haven't bought an album, so I didn't think I was a big enough fan to really appreciate it. And then also the trailer was giving me Malcolm X vibes, that he was going to be, it was going to play out kind of that way. His impact was going to have him targeted, and that it was just going to play out the same way. And I didn't want to watch another movie like so. My initial impression was no, thank you.
Dad Panther.
I was excited to listen to it. The standards were low, or at least the bar was low. I didn't think anything special of it. I mean, it wasn't going to be like Flex playing Michael Jackson, but I was expecting, it was going to cover some of the things. Again, like you said earlier, Jay, it's an iconic figure. You're not going to catch everything in this movie. This movie isn't a documentary. It's more for the the masses, just like kind of what reggae was. So,
Iris?
I'm actually really excited about the movie. I had high expectations in regards to it, just like I had high expectations on the movie Selena. So when we first saw the trailer and we shared it, I was like, yes, I am so ready to watch this. And then, of course, if disappointment set in afterwards, then, you know.
Quick question. Did you see the Netflix series Selena, the TV series they did about Selena?
Yeah, and it was good, but there were some boring parts to it. I know they were trying to fit in so much details, and it was like, okay, that's nice, get to the point. And I honestly think the girl that they chose, she was as Selena.
What are we? All right, so I'm not a Selena. I didn't know who the hell Selena was, honestly, and I know y'all will get mad, but like when I kind of went into it raw, no condom. So I didn't know what to get to. Like I think I enjoyed the ride because I'm genuinely just watching it to enjoy the story. And all right, well, somehow she's some mega Spanish celebrity, so I'm just watching the ride. So was there a specific moment that you felt like the TV show should have started on or ended on or focused on or something?
No, not that. Not at all. I just feel like the pacing of everything just needed a little bit more. There were some points that there were conversations that I was like, is that really necessary in the show? Like,
okay,
was that necessary to the story?
Sure.
But
I would love to have a discussion about that one day. I get
Let's
your
go talk
perspective
about
on
Marley.
yeah, we'll get back. All right, but thank you so much. Dad Panther, give me them highs and lows, big boy.
Man.
Oh boy.
I didn't know where I was gonna go with that.
Yeah, right. You said you was about to drop a bomb in this motherfucker. Go ahead.
Okay, so the highs was you can see that this was set up where there was a lot of detail from the clothing that was worn. Even when they did the ending, they showed you, hey, the real footage. You can see the dancing being mimicked. You can see the characters or the rest of the crew, the Whalers, how they had the same garments on. So you saw that level that was there. I thought it was done well. The pacing was good. You kind of knew what was going to happen if you've seen movies or documentaries about them. The low that I would say is, again, it's not their fault. It's just such an iconic person. You're not going to catch everything. There's so many ways you could have told this story. You could have passed it over to Ziggy, where it would have been a second movie later about what the Marleys have done with the Marley brand over the years. But the whole of what he's done for that music was enough. But the best way I can say it is, like, if you ever been in a Jamaican restaurant, and for me being in Miami, going in there and hearing how they conversate over just food. You can't order certain things on the menu if you don't have someone who speaks that language. You'll get the menu. They'll come in there. I'm not going to be rude or disrespectful or mimic it, but you'll go in a restaurant and how can I help you? And as soon as they realize you're not that, you get a different menu. I've gone with friends and they'll pick something and I'll let them talk and your plate will be fire. So I would be really interesting to hear somebody who's Jamaican tell me what they think.
Word. Iris, you wanted to take a shot in the dark? Is that what you wanted to do?
Take a shot in the dark.
Lay down the law.
Highs and lows. I can't really give you guys any lows. I could barely give you guys any highs. But if I do have to pick a high for myself, I would have to say just seeing this gentleman, Kingsley, just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. God bless that young man. Yes, sir. And I was actually happy to see Lashana Lynch in this one. We've seen her in Marvel and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh, there you Go, Lashana. I see you, boo. And I love that she got to play the wife. So highs is just, I guess, the actors that they just chose to play the parts in the movies. Yes. From the clips that I did get to see, it looks like from the costumes, like Ron was mentioning, and things like that, you really felt like, oh, you know what, this is, we're really in this time, like it just felt real, just even from the clips that I got to see. So hopefully this weekend I'll get to see it if my knee is not keeping me handicapped.
All right, Mr. Eddie, it is your turn, sir.
All right, so highest for me, of course, the production. I thought it was done very well. I love the aspect that I went in because of the trailer thinking that it was just all revolved around one show, and I like how the show mainly they got to it in the beginning. It wasn't about the show; it was about everything after, and that was actually interesting to me. I love learning a lot more about Bob Marley. Like I said, I wasn't a big fan. I didn't know that his father was white. I never really questioned that his skin complexion or anything. I just knew that he was an iconic person within the music about love and peace. So seeing how he had to leave Jamaica and be away from his family and still trying to take his career to the next level, and how fast his popularity grew amongst the white crowd across Europe and everything, things of that nature. I was blown away. I had no idea. So I love that whole aspect. I did like the dedication to the role. As far as who they casted, I was pleased with. I know a lot of times we wonder why they don't just go with no-name people that maybe can give you more of, like he was saying, he probably wanted them to find somebody that was more to the role himself. But I actually like the job he did here. What was it? What lows for me? What I have to say is, again, I felt like this film was more so for the masses. After having deep conversations and understanding a little more, I understand that how they wanted to just weave a particular story, and I would have liked to have seen, which is something we need to have a backlot conversation about how biopics now are shying away from the dark truth about certain people. And that's something we can have a discussion about later. But for me, I thought that I would have liked to have seen some of the aspects I got after having a discussion with the Dad Panther after the fact. I also felt like the story itself, it even though it was about the music afterwards, and then it came back to the concert that he ended up doing again to bring peace together. I didn't really get. I didn't feel moved or anything. Like, I know the message they were trying to give, and I understand that I didn't really feel moved from it. Not that a biopic is supposed to move me, but I was just hoping, like when I watched Iron Claw, I was gonna leave feeling some type of way, and then I was just like, okay, we got that story, and and moved on. So that's the only low I really have.
Okay. What I would like to say is, hold on a second. All right. Yeah. The biggest thing that how do I approach this? There was something I forgave the film for, once again, when I was watching Ben. I'm not going to say the rest of his name, but when I was watching him on Breakfast Club, he made a statement that this film was created and produced by the Marley family, and the sons wanted to make a love letter to their father. This film is a love letter to the father. This is not about being a biopic. This is not about we need to tell his ugly truth, the distruth. It's, as children, we loved our father, and we want to tell our father's story the way we want to tell ours. We want to highlight the things that we love about our father. When I understood that, and I felt like the interviews that I watched pertaining to this film before I saw the film helped put into perspective what I was going to see when I saw it. So when the story picks up in a certain place and ends in a certain place, I'm cool with it. For them to omit certain elements, I'm cool with it. And the more I really thought about it in watching the film and after the film, it's like, yo, there's more than one place to find, if you want all of the cold hard facts about Bob Marley, there are literally tons of documentaries, dozens. Some of them are like multi-part that go through his entire life, from childhood to being a young man to being an adult. Yes, he had like 6 baby mamas and 15 children, and they even say he probably had more than that. Yes, he's, he was definitely a little delusional and definitely super hyper focused. Yes, he's the reason why he died, because he refused to go to doctors and really wanted to be treated. So when they found out that he had cancer, it actually, what they didn't talk about is by the time he had went to the doctors, the cancer had already spread to a crazy point. And he did at that point, they pushed him to try to get treatment, and none of the treatments worked. But once again, I'm writing a love letter to my dad. We are multimillionaires based off of the work that he's put into the world, and I can paint his picture any way I want, and that's my father. I love that, because I'm sick and tired of every black superstar I see that I've grown up loving. Y'all just want to bring every nasty, dirty thing out about that person. And instead of us saying, hey, in spite of this, we still love this person, we destroy that person, we rip that person down, whether it's Michael Jackson, whether it's Prince. I mean, like, yo, go on YouTube and start and Google Prince Dark Secrets and see if you don't come up with 30,000 pages of crazy stuff that they talk about people. Bro, we could talk about how everybody got flaws all day. But the thing I love that I came out of this theater with, and that I love listening in the theater, were real Jamaican people that I could barely understand what they're saying, cheering and singing, and like they were just having a time. I may be one of those Negroes that reads too far into stuff and we analyze the shit out of stuff, but there are a huge mass of people that just come out and they just love to enjoy a good story. This movie is a good story. It has highs, it has lows. Like the relationship between him and his wife is so crazy. To see the distant relationship between, singer and manager, that's crazy. Like there are so many, even the label owner, the white dude, and him, there are so many dynamics of things that are connecting Bob. You see, the film comes into the time period when Bob is become a legendary artist in Jamaica, but he hadn't breaking worldwide. But he's already got an infrastructure. There's a security staff and there's a band, and like he's moving like a goddamn president, to a certain extent. I was amazed seeing stuff like that. I'm not used to seeing that when we're talking about our black celebrities and our black creatives. I loved seeing that before he broke worldwide. He already had the big house on the hill, and he had his gunmen at the door opening up the gate for the truck, and the kids are playing. Like, these are the realities of this time period. Dudes have automatic weapons, and the kids are playing soccer 15 feet away. Like, yeah, they're making music in the house, and then the guy comes in and shoots out. These are realities that we dealt with. Him not wanting to have anything to do with politics, but his life intersecting with politics at every turn. Him being a strong person and taking his team and having them get up every day and go run. I feel like that wasn't played up enough. Like, this dude ran his company and his team like a military group, man. Like, he was militant as a motherfucker. And for even the gangsters are coming to him, the politicians are coming, everybody's coming and bowing down, not necessarily bowing down like he's a god, but there's a reverence wherever he went. And notice how he never was violent. He was never overly aggressive. He was always showing love. Like, these are the subtle elements that I saw through and through the film. I was like, bro, this is great. Like, I love seeing this. You don't have any lows. I mean, and Eddie is completely right about how he feels, and Dad Panther's right, and obviously Iris, she knows what she like. But you know what I mean? Like, I walked away with this. I walked out of the theater like, the first thing I said is, if I have children and I become popular and I pass away, I pray that my children love me enough to want to tell my story and do it in such a way that I could be portrayed in that manner. Like, that is everything. So with that being said, I'm gonna let that go. Is there anything else y'all want to say before we get to the rating part?
I would have loved then if they would have not have labeled it a biopic and just said, Bob Marley, One Love, and just put it out there, a love story from his children or whatever, or a Bob Marley story, But to label it a biopic and then cut out a lot of details in that time frame, I feel like that's disheartening.
Yeah. Now,
component.
what I would like to say is that they didn't. It's not like they lied at any point. All of the details in the film are accurate. I mean, every piece of the film is accurate. So why can't we call it a biopic? It's not like they lied at any point or made shit up. I mean, they made a biopic can have multiple components to it. This could be Bob Marley One Love, and then the next one could be No More Love, and the other, but the third biopic is The Love Returns. Like, I mean.
Okay, all right. So I'll put it this way.
All right, go ahead.
When previously you'll say executives clean stuff up and they're trying to hit a certain audience.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this with Griselda and the realization that could be there. And we're like, we can't do that because she's a woman and XYZ. But there's countless other movies, not just in drug cartel stuff, where the man kills a bunch of people. He's rated R and he's loved. But if a woman does it, she might not want this role. We might not want to watch it. This movie took moments that were factual and almost like based on a true story. They changed parts of it to sell to a demographic. That's why I'm curious of what someone who's Jamaican would say about this growing up in Jamaica, growing up off that, watching how that country has been riddled with politics and people taking their land and gentrification and all this stuff that's happened that Bob was fighting for, whether knowingly or unknowingly. Like, there's a part where Rita says, "You remember you're the cornerstone," and she starts singing the words to the song called Cornerstone. That actually happens when he goes back to the Marley family, which is his white dad who was on the house, the horse. His name was called Captain. And it's funny because Bob is called Skipper. But he went and he said, "Hey, look, I'm a big celebrity," and his white family didn't want anything to do with him. So funny enough, he makes the Marley name bigger than that part of his family. And I'm not saying add that in because the movie wasn't that, but if you're going to mention and show the dad talking to the mom, and I don't want that to come off as that's not his story, then why did you get a woman to play his mom at the time who was significantly older? Bob's dad had sex with his mom when she was like 16. He was 68. So you won't show that because it won't portray right. It's not going to look good. The song Cornerstone was Bob doing a respectful diss letter to his dad and that family, saying the builder didn't want me. I will be the cornerstone and build something new. And that was before he got big. The part of the movie where he's almost like Jackson 5, and it's like they're showing the music that didn't work. And he's like, well, we can play something different. I got what they were doing. They were taking that Bob had an album, like a singing song, but it was rebellious. It didn't work. And he switched to what they did in Jamaica, where they would do covers of doo-wop songs and they would put their spin on it. Right. And I'm like, that you already did that. It's right there. Why didn't you show it?
They did show it.
No, like I said, I felt if you're the type to go on a cruise and come back with braids, this movie's for you. Like, it's not that anyone else won't enjoy it, but if you're sitting there saying, I'm doing it for the culture, and you want to use certain phrases, and I got this for my backpack, and I got a beanie when I went to Universal Studios, and I went to the Marley Club. If that's who this was made for, it wasn't made to show the Jamaican people and how he's so connected. Like even the part where the two gangsters come to London That should never happen that way. The thing with Bob, he was cool. It would be now the Bloods and the Crips type of thing. He was cool with both, fucking with both. And the country called Bob and said, we need you to come back and fix it. They didn't show that. So there was moments to show how he brought people together. And I felt like they kept pawning that off on something else because they didn't want it to be a part of that story.
Everything you said, there might have been some small. All right, so the girl wasn't 16, she was older. Okay, so not showing that doesn't. This, like, I get what you're saying to a certain extent, but not showing her to be 16 doesn't look bad on Bob. It would look bad on the dad. Nobody's trying to save the dad. Nobody give a fuck about this white dad.
But you don't want it to be that kind of movie, is what I'm saying. You want to enjoy the music.
What kind of movie would that be? Nobody would. That wouldn't make that much of a difference. I feel like they would probably just, let's shoot it, let's get it done. I feel like you're weighing too much into that nuance. Now, they did have the scene where the two gangsters go to London. Now, the difference is, yes, Bob called them and brought them out after the country called him. Yes, all right, small nuance. But once again, does that really change too much? I feel like at the end of the day, we're trying to look, you got a budget. You're trying to shoot a bunch of stuff. It wasn't a big budget, bro. And to shoot so much content in different countries, that eats up mad fucking bread. So, like, I get what you're saying, but I don't really feel like it was that crazy different. And you're saying he's now not playing up his impact. The whole film talks about his impact. The whole film is about how they kept saying he's the only person that could do this. He's the only person that could bring the people together. He's the only person that can do a concert this size. You know what I mean? Even
what's more impactful than two gangsters coming across to say, come do the concert versus the PM, Prime Minister of the country, saying, come over?
I get what you're saying. That's cool. But at the end of the day, if I'm a Marley son and I want to talk about the love for my father and how I admire him, I don't want nobody to be more important than my father in that film. Look at it from a son's perspective. The son is telling the story. Listen to me, Dad Panther. The son, your son or your daughter is telling a story about you. Do you think your son or your daughter is going to give a fuck about JS1 or whatever, if we go on to be famous? Guess who they going to focus on? Dad Panther. JS1 don't give a fuck. Eddie ain't gonna be shit. It's gonna be, some niggas my dad worked with. Yeah, they fooled around, and guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna fuck up certain details because they don't care. Because at that end of the day, it's about their parent, and their parent being whomever their parent is. Nigga, at the end of the film, they put him on a horse with Selassie. Bob Marley gets on a horse with the god of their religion. Nigga, do you not see where they're going with this? It's a love story. That's all it is. And I ain't talking about a love story between Bob Marley and his wife. I'm saying it's a love story about the children celebrating their idol. So that's so once again, it's like, I get what you are not wrong, Dad Panther. They fucked some details up and that's great. But just put the lens of the kids are telling a story about their dad. And that, once I did it, I just enjoyed it because I got to see how the children view their idol, their everything. The person that provides their every need, he's been dead for 30 years. They're still eating because of his accomplishments. So yeah, man, like that. I'm walked into the theater, had a great time, and walked out. And the only thing I'm saying is, that Panther, don't get your blood pressure up, man. Just let it go. And then look, you got an idea for your movie, and I'm right behind you, baby. You need me to hold your bag and your umbrella. I got no problem with that, man. I'll be right there. And you can say Bob Marley, the true fucking story. And then you can have all of the gangster shit you want, bitches and all that. Cocaine and weed. We got it. Notice how they didn't even, weed wasn't even a real front component. He was smoking, but they never really focused on it that much, which is crazy because that's all you ever seen Bob Marley do was smoke pounds of weed a day. Even that was a lie. But you know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense? All right. Let's review.
And he died almost 43 years ago. In May, it'll be 43.
And he rose again 3 days after that. Just remember that. All right. Is this film a classic? A good watch? A catch on streaming? Not doing it for me.
Oh hell no!
Or if you ever show me this again, I will. I'm scared because I don't know how the fuck Dad Panther is gonna rate this. This is crazy. I'm literally nervous right now. Like, I don't know if he's gonna throw it under the bus or is he gonna give it high praise. I don't know. So let's start with Dad Panther. Let's rip the bandage off early. Sir, how do you?
I mean, I don't know what to rip off a Band-Aid. It's not like that. If you listen to what I was saying before, it goes down the avenue of I enjoyed this movie. My expectation was low. I didn't look at it the same as I Shot the Sheriff remastered on Netflix, and there's a Marley documentary and some books. I'm not putting in that same realm.
Right.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the music. I understood what they were trying to convey to the audience. And that's the audience I was referring to. As far as this movie as a whole, I would rate this movie as a classic. Again, you don't have anything from artists who are sharing the same pigmentation as us, and to tell a story that is not driven with sex or violence or drugs, you don't see that often. Some of the classic movies we grew up with, whether it's The Temptation, The Five Heartbeats, there's always that tragedy that follows constantly in the story. And in this, it was educational because people didn't know that his dad was white. People didn't know that he died of cancer or his love of soccer. And there was like some genuine stuff in it. I just feel like maybe people who want that Bob that they know to be put up higher than kind of watered down. And that's all I got for that.
Let me ask you this question. How did you feel about Ben? Like, what do you feel about his performance? Do you really feel like it was a strong performance?
I like the performance. I like the actor and what they played. I mean, I talked to Eddie about like sometimes someone's hot and that's who gets that role. And it will go with the story you said with the Breakfast Club, where it was like, hey, look, we didn't go with one of Bob's kids. That was one of the things. Like, he has a son that looks almost, or not a son, a nephew that almost looks like identical to him. And people wanted him. People wanted more diversity as far as people who are Jamaican. Like, if you go on Jamaican TikTok, there are people saying they're not happy about it. And those types of people, give or take, they might not drive the box office. But that's why I made the comment of, again, this is a different market who's going to watch this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the Bob they know. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
So outside of their opinion, did you feel like he did a great job or not, with like the accent and the way his movements were? Like,
I thought the movements were great. Like, I really got what he was doing. Like, if you didn't know Bob and you're watching him do the dance, like you said, caught in the spirit, that was there. I just felt like there's impactful moments that they could have added in there for whatever reason. But I thought the actor did a great job. I thought Rita did a great job. So, like I said, it's a classic. I don't know how you got, off the beaten path over here, but yeah,
that's my job, baby. Take the path less chosen, less chosen. All right, Eddie. All right, stop clicking away on your
less traveled.
Yeah, the road less traveled.
Yeah, man.
All right, Eddie. What do you know, man? Is this a classic? Is it a good watch? Catch me dreaming, not doing it for me. Is it?
Oh hell no!
Or what the last one is?
Yeah, so for me, I'm gonna have to give it a good watch. Like I said, it was a lot of stuff that I learned. It's a lot of stuff that that I didn't know, and then I also especially enjoyed more of seeing some of the creative process to the music, because like I said, I'm not a big Bob Marley fan. I appreciate his music. I love what I've heard, but I don't consider myself a fan only because I only know whatever's out there on other platforms, social media, things of that nature. I've never actually taken a deep dive in. So I appreciated all that. It was a good watch. And I actually think that the acting was pretty good. Funny, growing up in Miami, I understood more of everyone else around him than I understood him. And I don't know if it's because, I don't know if he was trying too hard with the accent or if he just took it to a level that I've never experienced, but I'm pretty well versed with patois, growing up in Miami, and I was understanding a lot more of the people around him more than I was understanding him. So I don't take that how you will.
No, I definitely feel you on that. There were some moments where I was like, "Oh, what?" You said something, but what? So, yo, I am going to have to agree with my guy, Dad Panther, that this is a classic. The moment that I saw, I think the film ended, I was like, yo, I wanted to see it again. I want to purchase this. I need to own it the same way I own American Fiction the moment that I realized that it was out. Congratulations to the Marley family for continuing to control your narrative, control your family's narrative. I think that is so important. Because if we can repaint all of these white celebrities, all of the fuck shit they do, and all these fucking white politicians and people in history, and we can relitigate and rewrite their history, why can't we rewrite ours? Like, people don't need to know about my 16 baby mamas. Bro, just focus on the music. You know what I mean? That's all that's important, baby. You know what I mean? And I hope that all my indiscretions are washed away by my children, and the best parts of me are lifted up into the world, because ain't none of us perfect. So with that being said, is there anything else? Iris, did you want to do a predictive rating?
I'll just agree with you both. It's a classic, basically, because of Kingsley Ben-Adir. Yeah.
Oh my God! Here we go with the. All right, I got you. All right, so God dang, you know it was this daggone late, but let's hurry up and get this done.
This planet.
Would you look at that? A ladder! Unfortunately, my design doesn't facilitate this type of...
Well, destiny awaits.
Legend has it that there's this massive treasure hidden in some secret vault. And if you go hunting for it, you'd better take any help you can get. Because it's on the weirdest, most dangerous dumpster fire of a world in the universe.
God, I hate this planet.
What is that smell?
Piss wash gully.
Ew!
Put the window up.
I don't want to! Roll the window up!
It's Pete. It's Pete. Why do you think it's called piss wash? How did it get the name?
It's in my mouth!
Do you know how many people have died looking for this vault?
We have something they don't, baby girl.
Okay, what?
Major issues. Time to make it rain with your body parts.
What did I tell you?
Minimal explosions.
I said no explosions.
Step aside, bitches!
Ooh, mine's bigger.
What on door? I needed a gun. So you asked for it.
There's only one of you in the world, and you're special.
Uh-oh. Kill them all. What's happening right now?
I'm expelling the excess lead. I can't go if you're looking at me. Actually, scrap that. I can. I really can. Actually, it's helping.
Are we really waiting for this to finish?
Keep looking at me.
I'm excited for it.
Did you play the game?
It's a video game.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, it's from a video game. Borderlands 1 and 2. You have a third one they're working on, 2K. It's supposed to be wild and raunchy, rated R.
Oh, okay.
Looks like a Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
It looks like it's
That's
gonna miss the mark of the video game, but that's what Hollywood does.
It is. Kevin Hart is supposed to play a character who's like 6'8" and all muscles.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Oh, so it's Tom Cruise, Jack Reacher. Great.
Yep, basically.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is.
Boy Kills World.
All right.
This was never a great city, but it was ours.
Are you with me? Always.
Until Hilda Vanderkoy took it from us. This is how she keeps control. They call it the calling.
They're all gonna watch and cheer as you die.
That's me, facing televised execution by breakfast cereal mascots. Not my happiest day. But let me take you back to an even worse one. The day the Vanderkoys killed my family and left me deaf and mute. So I made a 3-step plan. Step 1, give myself an inner voice. I took the last one I remembered from this video game. Player 1 wins. Step 2, get stronger. A lot stronger. And step 3, join a team.
Welcome to the Resistance.
Yeah, go team. The mission is simple. Make the Vanderkoys pay for what they have done. Insert crazy action montage.
You fall in love. It's caving in. You've never been so nuts about a guy you wanna laugh. You cross your heart and hope to die.
You know how hard it is to get a cereal company to sponsor mass murder?
Wow. You ring the bell and you shout hallelujah.
Run time.
I don't like this plan.
What's the use of falling in love?
You have reached your final destination.
Oh my God, no! I have information. I'm gonna help you. Stop!
Somebody wasn't going to help us.
Definitely sounded.
I think it's safe to say I will be watching that.
Yeah, it's giving me Quentin Tarantino vibes.
So Bob's Burger with guns?
That's interesting.
Interesting choice
Really?
there.
Well, I would say it's more of Archer.
What?
Same lead voice as Archer. And Archer is action. So that's the only reason why I kind of put it together like that.
All right.
All right, you guys aren't having fun. Let's move on. The last one of tonight, Civil Trailer 2.
Citizens of America, people of Florida alike, and the Western forces of Texas and California will be welcomed back to these United States as soon as their illegal secessionist government is deposed.
You don't know what side they're fighting for. Someone's trying to kill us. We are trying to kill them.
Yowza.
That makes me happy inside.
Anything else anybody has to say?
I'm excited to see that.
Can't come fast enough.
That's what she said.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, I think that sounded better in your head.
Yeah, I just thought about that. But I mean, I got mine. So I mean, yeah, we both win. I mean, you got a job to do. So
all righty. That is our show. We have done a solid 2 hours. I didn't even think we was gonna get past an hour, to be honest with you, because I ain't have enough shit for nothing. But boy, oh boy, nobody talks like us. Man, the greatest review team of all time. Don't be pointing at me talking about this on me. Y'all one did all
we fitted another. We did Vince. Put that in the thing. You guys did a review for Vince Stable. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
that was for free $3.99. We put in there. Like, you know, you got extra fries in the bag. It was like, here you go, Vince Staple, the show. Here you go.
So, you know what I mean? Just wanted to make sure y'all got, nobody can complain that they didn't get enough out of their favorite show. That's the most important thing. So, all right, come on, let's get these shout outs going. Iris, tell them where they can find you. Tell them, you know, whatever you want to tell them. I don't care. It's on you.
Iris just says good night, and you can catch her on Real Reviews on BBC Life on the Patreon. Please subscribe. Good night.
She ended it with a sexy, breathy good night. Go ahead with your bad self. All right, Dad Panther, can you be more sexy than her? Go.
No, not at all. I wouldn't even try. I just want to say shout out to all the moms. Shout out to all the moms. That's what I'm gonna say. Shout out to all the moms, and just remember when you're feeling like life is coming at you and it just things ain't working, like whether you're a mom or not, just be like, we are the world.
God, get them off of the
We are the children.
My God.
We are the ones.
All right. Yeah, he's
Oh,
he's still going. Oh, no. All right. Eddie, can you do better than that?
I don't know if I can shout that, but I want to shout you guys out. You know, I love doing this with you. I want to shout out the I want to shout out the Kickstarter that Iris has started for the Beekeeper 2 starring Ben Kingsley Benadire and your boy Jason Statham, because Iris is funding that next one.
It's called The Birds and the Bees.
I gotta throw some money. I'm not throwing no money towards that boy.
There's a scene where they fight. It's hand-to-hand combat. They just covered in honey.
Nah, it's gonna be the honey maker. That's
That's honey maker. Fans, man, that's an OnlyFans.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. And shout out to the whole BBC Life team. I like the direction we're headed. I feel like we're about to do great things in 2024.
Speaking of, there's a trailer of something that's happening next week. Look at this nigga face. All right, real quick, I want to throw this out here. Tomorrow night, Friday, 8 p.m., Cyberpunk Red, role-playing game session 3. You know what I'm saying? The Black Nerd Podcast will be taken to the airways for that. So please tune in. The Gamer Girl Magazine Volume 2. Bigger and better with our homie Remy Rouge. You're not only the cover girl, but the newest member of the VVC Life family who is doing big things. Please not only support the magazine because Eddie worked so hard to put it together, but also because Remy bared it all. You know what I'm saying? For the general populace. And she's got a show every Sunday, 8 p.m. where she it says Remy Rouge does gaming. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all tap in for that. The double entendre. Don't ask me how. So, with that being said,
you got to try it for next Friday.
Earlier when you were like, Eddie worked so hard on this, I was like,
did he though? Did he?
Well, if it's what you love to do, it never feels like work. But it's still work. It's still work at the end of the day.
Still work. It still work.
Yeah.
Shout out to that. You know what I mean? So I am not gonna touch that. Well, pause. I'm ending the show with a trailer. Black Watch Theater, Speed, next Friday. Iris, can you be a part of this one? I miss you.
Please.
I miss you, Iris. I want you to be with us while we watch this. You know what I mean? You can bring your boo with him. Tell him to come on. Y'all can sit next to each other and y'all can rub on each other's booty and watch it together. But I just want you to be on the screen with us. Can you do that?
Of course. ¿A qué hora? I gotta make sure it's not past my bedtime.
Nigga, it starts at 8. Stop that shit. You grown. And it's a Friday night.
And you said your bedtime was at 9:30. So
No. I said 8:30. No. We need to correct that. I go past my bedtime on Thursday nights for y'all. Okay. So rest of the week. Okay. Monday through Saturday through Thursday. I don't know none of y'all. Okay.
See some goddamn rib bowls, man. You wake the hell up. You know what I mean?
I need my beauty sleep.
Nah, what you need is some blue pills. Anyway, we out of here. We'll check you next time.
Pop quiz. Airport. Gunman with one hostage. He's using her for cover. He's almost to a plane. You're 100 feet away.
What do you think? Shoot the hostage.
What?
Go for the good wound and he can't get to the plane with her. Clear shot.
You're deeply nuts. You know that?
All right, gentlemen, what we have here are 13 passengers in an express elevator. Bomb's already taken out cables. Bomber wants $3 million or he blows the emergency brakes.
Anything else that'll keep this elevator from falling?
The basement.
He can strike anywhere, at any time.
Will the mystery guest please sign in?
Why are they messing with me? Do they think I'm doing this for fun?
For LA cop Jack Traven.
Tell me again, Harry, why did I take this job?
Come on, 30 more years of this, you get a tiny pension and a cheap gold watch.
Cool.
No ticket.